What is going on, YouTube? I got another video for you guys. Just like the thumbnail said, we're going to be speaking about the JMB massive dual snorkel intake monstrosity here. So, with that being said, let's get right to it. $850 to $900 is what it costs to order this big ass intake. That is the most money I've ever spent, and I'm sure you guys out there with some Euro cars are going to tell me, oh, I got a carbon fiber intake and I have this and I spent $3,000 or whatever the case is. But for a Dodge product, $1,000 is a lot of money for a Mopar. But I'll tell you what, if it's a $900 part, I can stand by the customer service. I'm looking at this stuff, and when it came in, I was very impressed. Not only that, they packaged it correctly, but when I had questions and I talked to them about the intake, they were very helpful. I called them, I spoke to them about what I wanted. They told me if you want to color match the intake, what color do you prefer? They brought, man, all types of options. They know that this is an expensive intake, and they do work on a lot of different vehicles. They're actually a performance shop, if I'm not mistaken, and they specialize in a lot of different types of vehicles. So this is like a side thing they do, if I'm not mistaken. I might be, but if I'm not, they don't really mass produce these. These are made to order. When I ordered it, it took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get it. But I mean, I was very impressed. All the welds, all the little pieces here and there, very nice quality. You know, this is made to order. So they have a bunch of sheet metal or whatever you want to call it. But they took their time. They got this little heat shield here that help keeping the intake cool. The intake temperature is pretty cool. But I'm very fascinated by it. I'm in love with it. I love the way it looks. It's different. It sets itself apart. But I think what's really nice about the customer service is that we're very, very prompt. They answered my phone calls. They answered my questions. And they took care of me in a relatively quick manner. What I also like that's different from the competitors that make intakes similar to this, metal intakes, is these little bushings here. So of course, guys, when you buy an intake this big, you got to get rid of a lot of extra pieces and parts that you don't need. That gigantic plastic thing covering that massive supercharger. Yeah, you got to get rid of all that. That's one of the things that I knew I had to do, but I preferred that. I wanted for the supercharger, I wanted the supercharger to pop out. I didn't like the fact that I have a HELLCAT powered pickup truck. You can't see the HELLCAT supercharger, the infamous, most iconic supercharger. So, these little bushings came in. When you take off all the plastics, you know, it kind of keeps everything together, which is pretty cool. I like that little feature. You get to see the Easter egg of the TRX, the T-Rex eating the Raptor. Pretty cool. Quality on the intake, I'd give it like, to be honest, I'll probably give it like a 9 out of 10. The only reason why I gave him a 9 is because, let's be realistic. I mean, this is a handmade, hand-welded, man-made product. It's not like a, you know, some type of machine mass-produced a whole bunch of them. But, I mean, a 9 out of 10, I think that's pretty good. It does have some, you know, some little weld issues here and there, but I'm not gonna kill them for that. The powder coat is very good quality powder coat, high heat resistant, and they give you some of the best intakes. SMB intakes, man, beautiful intakes. That comes with the price, guys. That comes with the price, and I'd expect it to. For that price, I hope they give me some really big ass, good quality, not just some generic stuff that you can find at Walmart. I wanted some good stuff, and so that came with it. But everything other than that, the hardware, the instructions, everything that came with it, the very good quality stuff. The packaging came in pretty good, very well actually. Big box. Everything was bubble wrapped, stuffed with all types of paper. The intakes came in their own brand boxes for the SMB intakes. So can't beat the quality, guys. Although the installation was pretty much you know, self-explanatory, it's not as easy as you think. You know, this is one of those vehicles that you got to get a little step ladder, and I would say that the installation was pretty tedious. It wasn't the hardest, but it wasn't the easiest. there's a lot of trying to figure out how this goes, that goes. The instructions were pretty verbatim, but they just, I don't know, it was one of those photocopied instruction pages. I think they could have done a little better with the instructions. But overall, I mean, if you're not mechanically inclined, don't touch this, you know, this job. I would just take it to a shop or a friend that actually knows how to do this job. So, yeah, that's my 2 pieces on the instructions of how to install it. But I mean, you take your time. It took me probably about, what, 2 hours to install this. And I know that's a long time, but again, the instructions were not very detailed. To me, it's not too much about how to install this. If this never had an intake on it, it'll probably take me about 45 minutes. It's trying to get the plastics and all these extra craps and rivets and all this stuff out of the way. You know, you have to remove all these 13, 14, 16 freaking pop clips, and there's some more up here. And then you got to get the bar. Usually there's a huge strut bar that goes across the whole thing. There's just a lot of stuff you got to remove, guys. And that took a long time. For me, it took a while. There were some hidden bolts inside the intake, on the factory intake that was still there. It was just annoying. In my opinion, it was just too much to take off the factory stuff. But installing it was pretty quick. I'd say about 45 minutes. And there's like a bracket there somewhere. I don't know if you can kind of see it. Yeah, here it is. Maybe. There's a few brackets that you gotta install. They come with extra hose so that you can replace the factory hose that's there. It's not too bad, guys. It wasn't too bad. Maybe you can see it down there, but there's a bracket down there. See that? You had to reach all the way down there and install that bracket. Like any other intake, guys, I highly doubt that it's going to give you a drastic increase in horsepower. I hear rumors that other makes and models or other brands of intakes make 25 horsepower increase, 30 horsepower increase. I've even heard some people in the forums talking about, I feel like I gained 45 horsepower. I don't believe in all that, guys. I'm realistic. I truly believe that it might pick up 15, maybe 10 horsepower. You know, it's just more volume of air coming into the supercharger. But in all reality, it's just all depending on how much that throttle body wants to give the engine. It's not really about, you know, what the intake, how much intake air comes in. It's the throttle body is the deciding factor, guys. So I truly don't believe that it probably picked up a whole lot of horsepower. It's all about the next topic, the noise, the sounds. Oh my goodness. Guys, I've been in other vehicles with some loud superchargers. The HELLCATs that I've had, the TRX, I mean the Trackhawk that I had before the TRX had a very good job. Intake by JMB, you know, but I think it was JMB or, no, because this is a JMB. The sounds, guys, the sounds. Man, that's the best thing about this intake. It might not give you all the performance you possibly might want, and maybe it gives you a little bit of performance. I don't know, I highly doubt that, like we said earlier, but the noises, man. I'm telling you now, guys, it's the loudest intake I've ever heard. I've had friends tell me that while we're towing our vehicles to car shows or events, they'll be in front of me, and as my truck is climbing the hill, towing my car, the HELLCAT, you can hear my intake while they're in front of me or behind me. It's insane how loud this intake is. It screams. And I think what it is all this metal tubes for all the piping from the intake itself. It's just resonating the noises. It's just resonating. It's super loud. But the best noises ever. I mean, even before you build boost, you can hear this, like, you can hear the supercharged, like, amplified. It's so loud. I love the way this thing sounds all the time. I'm very happy with the purchase. It's worth every $800-900 that it's worth. So yeah, that's my thing about it. But me personally, I think the biggest thing about this intake is how unique it is. So you go out there and you see a lot of these Ram TRXs, they'll pop their hood and they have some nice intakes, guys. I'm not gonna knock them. You know, they'll have some nice powder coated intakes, or even the factory looking ones with the you know, different style carbon fiber little tube that you barely see. They're not bad stuff. And they're more affordable than this stuff, but I think the uniqueness is what attracted me to this intake. So you pop that hood and you see them gigantic tubes. Man, it's just amazing. Everybody just stops and stares, and they're in awe, and they're taking pictures and making videos of this stuff, and it's pretty impressive. And again, the color, you can pick whatever color you want. It's just the experience of the intake. Everybody just, you pop the hood and it just looks so good. It's not this one dingy, you know, skinny looking tube. No, it's just, it matches the whole appearance of this truck, the beast mode, the beefy looking truck. It just matches it. It fits perfect like a glove. It has, you know, the little heat shield. Everything just fits smoothly. It looks so good as you drive or you pull up to a car show. Very impressed with the way it looks. But enough of that. I'm gonna show you guys how it sounds. So we're gonna hop in the truck and I'm gonna give you, I guess, trust me, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it.
All right, y'all, so here we are, pulling out of my neighborhood. We're cruising right now, 28 miles an hour, just smooth, regular driving. The truck's not too loud, guys. Quick little mod list. I have, of course, that intake that we've been talking about, a 275 upper pulley. Truck already comes with dual fuel pumps, so that's good. On 93 pump gas, long tube headers, 180 degree thermostat, and a couple things here and there. Of course, injectors. I think they're 1300. 13 XDs, or I don't remember, man. But they're 1300 injectors, just in case, to be on the safe side. In case I want to run the 85. But enough of that. I'm about to show you guys what this thing sounds like. Because right now we're just coasting with all the windows down, so you can get a good example of what this truck sounds like. That's low boost, guys. I think that was like maybe 2 pounds. I'm literally doing 40 miles an hour. Close all the windows so you guys can get a better idea of what it sounds like with the windows closed, because even with the windows closed, it is still ridiculously loud. Check this out, guys. So aggressive. I love the way this thing sounds, guys. Like I said, best. Oh, there goes low fuel. Story of my life. This is like the best intake I've ever purchased, guys. And it's stupid the way it sounds, but when you buy supercharged cars, and a lot of you turbo guys know the same thing, man. You want to hear those. You want to hear that boost, and that's what this thing does, man. It just puts a grin in your face every single time. And it scares the crap out of people too, because you'll pull up on somebody, it's got their window down, doing 50 miles an hour, and you'll just stomp on it, and they just hear this thing screaming at them like there's like a cat yelling at them. Such a cool intake, guys. See if I can do a little launch here. That's how this truck was supposed to sound from the factory, guys. They don't really advertise themselves often, guys. Their Instagram is not popping, it's not big. You can find the intake on their actual website. I'll put the website right there in the picture in a second. But other than that, their customer service is amazing. So when you call them and you ask them, hey, I'm looking to get this intake, or if you purchase it online, it's pretty self-explanatory. You select the options you want, the color you want, there, here and there, whatever the case is, and it's pretty simple, y'all. JMB did a great job with this intake. It's nice to see companies still, you know, producing handmade items like this, not mass-produced with issues and stuff like that. Not to knock any other company down. I'm sure all the companies have a good, you know, their goods and bads, just like this one does. But other than that, check out this dig that I'm about to do. There you have it, guys. JMB intake, one of the baddest intakes out there. If you're skeptical about getting one, don't be. Just go out there and just order one. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but quality's there. You will not be disappointed after spending all that money. I promise you that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, Manny Mod's Garage out.